Hey, welcome back, everybody. Randy Cottle here with my man, Brian Joswiak, the Joes. Good to see you, brother. Ready to kick off another episode of the Mountaineer Legends podcast. And we got Robert Morris this weekend. How are you feeling about this one, coming out of the gates?
Well, I'm down here in South Florida, and I appreciate everybody joining us out there in Mountaineer land. Yeah, Randy, it's exciting. This daggone season is so palpable. The anticipation, the excitement, and we're just happy to be part of it as this Mountaineer Legends pregame show gets going for the 2025. We got our preseason one out there floating around. You can find it out there,
Yeah.
and we got some good dudes going to join us this morning. Going to talk a lot about the game coming up on Saturday and expectations for the season. And in order to make this happen, you got to have great people that are backing you. And I got to thank our two sponsors. Of course, Little General Stores, Little General Greg Darby and his team. Little General, man, these guys rock. They are such great supporters in all their communities. So get out and support them because, for them, it is all about the kids. They support our golf tournament. Little General, it's one of those places you can stop and get your fuel, whether it be fuel for your car or fuel for your body. The word convenient really rests on them, but more importantly, what they do in their communities. And of course, you, Randy, and your business. I appreciate you partnering with us. Of course, Trilogy Innovations and what is your guys? What's your guys' big deal?
Oh,
what do you do?
Yeah. So what we primarily do is a lot of federal contracting. The NASA's, the NOAA's, FBI's, DOJ's, all that kind of stuff. We do federal contracting. Primarily, and then so we're heavy into software, which is kind of how we got connected here.
Yes, sir.
You're like, I need one of those tech nerds guys, and that's me, right? So, and then we got our boy Billy Mack to help us pushing out all this content to all your favorite stations. So, YouTube, we're going to be putting on Twitter, and then we're getting access to the Fat Boys Media Facebook page. So we're going to be uploading all this stuff to there, so that way you can find us every week. We'll be pushing one out today, and then today's broadcast we're recording, and we're going to be pushing out on Friday. So
outstanding.
Yeah,
outstanding. And I get that you are kind of a computer nerd, which I'm envious of because I'm like a tech idiot. But more importantly, you're an alumni. You're from Elkins. You are a born and bred Mountaineer.
That's right.
And for you to be part of this, because you bring that to the table. We're talking to a bunch of former players and such as Mountaineer legends, but here you bring something really special to the table because Mountaineer football is part of your lifestyle.
Oh, absolutely.
And that WV back there that we all see and we all walk proudly of. This brand not only represents WVU, but it represents the state. It's West Virginia. So it's a big deal, man. And we appreciate you and of course Little General getting on board to make this happen. And we'll be doing our broadcast every week for every game. But the beauty of this Mountaineer Legends pregame show is we go on the road, baby.
Yeah.
We do live broadcasts. We're going to be at Tropics for the Pitt game on Thursday, going into that slugfest. And then we're going to be down in Myrtle Beach. We're going to be in Orlando, Florida for the UCF game. We'll be in Myrtle Beach the first week of October down there, our friends at Sundowner. And, just Mountaineers. And hopefully as this season works, baby. Hey, we're 1-0 and then 2-0 and then get to it's exciting. It's really an exciting time in Mountaineer football. This Rich Rod 2.0, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know last year Pat actually did his show, the Pat McAfee show, the night before the Penn State game, which I mean that brought in massive people. They had
Oh
shut
yeah.
down the schools and everything else. So hopefully we can win and try to convince him to come back again this year because that excitement, that energy, especially again, like I told you the other day. The fact that it's on September 13th and, the final
Oh
score of when
yeah.
Rich Rod left was 9-13, it's meant to be. It's going to be epic for
Hey,
sure.
you never know. You never know who's going to show up for that game because
Yeah.
again, right now it's the hottest ticket in the Big 12. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot going on there, and no kidding, man. Who knows? Who knows? But like Rich says, and like we all say in football,
Right.
you take them one at a time, and you take them one play at a time, and you take them one coin toss at a time. If you start looking forward,
Yeah.
you can stumble. We got a Robert Morris team. Everybody's going Robert Morris. I don't even know where that
Yeah.
school is, but that's not the point. The point is they're being told in their Division I locker room with scholarships, they're being told, hey, guess what? David slew Goliath. So they're going to come in here, and if we overlook them in any way, shape, or form, then we're not doing our job. And that ain't going to happen.
No.
Not with this guy. Not with this guy.
Not with this guy.
Nah, that ain't going to happen.
He's all over him.
You can listen to his words, but when you watch this actually take place on the playing field, all these words and all these expectations and all the things that we've been hearing and excited about, when we see this happening on Saturday, when we see the execution, when we see the protection of the football, when we see the running game get going, when we see defense swarming to the ball, that's where it's going to really get exciting from start to finish. You're not going to see anybody loaf. You ain't going to see no loaf. If you loaf, you're out.
Yeah.
If you loaf, you're out, and they'll put somebody else in there real quick because guess what? It's a new roster anyway. Pretty much, there's 70 new guys. So these guys are jockeying for playing time. They're jockeying for first team. And if you saw the depth chart that they released, it's got that word or. It could be this guy or this guy. Wow, that's a good place to be. But here in the next by the pit game, we'll know exactly who the ones are and the twos are and where guys fit in. And by that time, working into the Big 12 schedule, these guys, and when I say these guys, I'm talking about our coaches, Rich and staff. They will have us. They'll have us ready to go, and they'll have great evaluations, and we'll be getting after it. So it's exciting, man. This whole thing's exciting. I can't wait to hear. We got a heck of a lineup this morning. If all these guys show up, we're going to have Big Mike Fox. We're going to have college Hall of Famer Darryl Talley, the beer truck Owen Schmidt, and Aaron the Bees Beasley.
Oh, Aaron the Bees.
We're going to hear from these guys, and they should be. Hopefully, they're going to be jockeying in here any minute now, and so you be attentive to that on your tech side.
Yeah. As soon as it starts popping in,
I'm like I said, I'm a tech nut job, and I tell you what.
Speaking of which, there's Mike Fox joining in Mike, now.
Right on time, as usual. I tell you what,
sir.
Right on time.
Set your clock by it, right?
Yeah, I tell you.
There he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Big Mike Fox.
Big Mikey.
Hey, how's it going, bro?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Huh? Good.
Yeah, outstanding. Of course, Mike Fox, legend defensive tackle, came in my senior year actually, and has a lot to say about what's going on. Super Bowl champion. Holy man.
I wore it for the occasion.
Yeah. There it is.
Beautiful.
Oh man, I touched it.
Yeah,
I touched it. Oh, buddy, I touched it.
Yeah, we're all part of the path together. That's for sure. We, metal sharpens metal, right?
That's right. Exactly.
Metal sharpens metal. Metal sharpens metal. Mike, we're just kind of introing everything, what we're going to be doing and how we're going to execute this year. And hey, just going to let it ride, man. We're going to let it ride. We're going to have some fun. And hopefully, every week we're talking about some good things. Right now, hey, man, we're 0-0. Ain't nobody lost a game yet.
We're undefeated.
We're undefeated. We're undefeated.
Yeah. I think we have a chance to, do pretty good. The defense, I'm going to talk about the defensive line because that's what I do mostly, but the defense looks pretty deep this year. So hopefully those guys can do what they're, basically supposed to do. So they're running that like a 3-man front, technically, really a 4-man with the outside linebacker. I guess they call it a bandit, but definitely they look, pretty deep on that end of what they got. Seniors, juniors, even some of those younger guys, they look like they could contribute this year. So hopefully, it all starts, this, Joe's, it all starts up front. All that other stuff is wonderful. If the guys up front aren't doing it, nothing's going to happen. It's just one big fantasy. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. So.
Well, that's a fact. And, you got to be able to run the football on offense, and you got to be able to stop the run on defense. So the battle is entrenched down there on the line of scrimmage, man, locking up and doing what they're supposed to do. And, it's exciting because we've got a new defensive coordinator now and a new defensive line coach. And we've got some guys that were here with us last year. We brought in a few more. Like you said, Mike, we got some depth up front so we can rotate fresh legs in there. And I will tell you this, seeing it with my own 2 eyes. I was up there last week. I was at practice on Wednesday, and I watched it. And I watched the defense and all the things that we've been talking about these last few years about not seeing. Oh, we're not seeing enough of, jacking a guy at the line of scrimmage or, two-gapping a guy and getting that penetration that you need to get and blasting linebackers through open gaps. Man, this Zach Alley, this dude come in, his package is something else, man. We're flying around. We're getting after people. We're making offensive linemen. We're absorbing 2 guys, like you, man. It took 2 guys to block you. And when 2 guys are blocking you, that means that linebacker can come over the top and do the things that he's supposed to do at or behind the line of scrimmage. We got to create tackle for loss, correct?
Hey, it's either first and 13 or it's 1st and 7. That's how I look at it. So, depending on what side you're on. So it's like if I'm on defense playing an adverse offense, I wanted to knock them back, at least a yard or 2. So it's 1st and 13. But and you on offense, if you're on offense, you're wanting to knock me off the ball. So it's 1st and 7. It's a lot easier to go 3 times 4, right? So.
That's
first down.
Joined now by Aaron Beasley.
Hey, Bees, what's up, man? Hey, we're chopping,
man. Buddy?
We're chopping, so get ready. Right, but hold on, Aaron Beasley, the great Aaron Beasley. Bees is on the docket this year for College Football Hall of Fame. College Football Hall of Fame. Let's go, man. Let's go. Hey, and I tell you, man, that being said, we have a great successful season, and this WV's out there for everybody to see. That's going to help us get you where you need to be, buddy, and that's in the hall. Welcome.
Why can't I just get nominated every year and they talk about it? Is my mic good? Can you hear me good?
Yeah.
Hey, and to get nominated, come on, man. That's special. That's a special. You're a special dude.
Hey, it's funny because I was thinking like what we'd be talking about today, and I was like, where I came from, I'm coaching football now, and I'm trying to tell my dudes like, bro, I was nothing. I ran cross country in 10th grade. I was like a beanpole, but it's just like having drive and just like wanting something so bad. I told Dr. J when Dr. J's son came to my hometown, and he went to the Hill School, a little prep school there, and he brought me down to his house. I met Dr. J when I was in like 11th grade, and I told him I was going to be in the NFL or the NBA the next time I saw him. And I made it to the Jaguars, and I go to Orlando, and he's working for the Magic, and I go down there, and he's like, Beasley. He came up and remembered me. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that's great. That's a good story there. So.
Yeah, man.
I remember when I was a kid, they had Ozzie Newsome, who was a tight end for the Browns at the time, at the Chapel Hill Mall, the mall that I grew up on. And I went there and asked him for, hey, how do I get to your team? And he gave me a couple numbers back in the day, because it was like, I wanted to be in the NFL the best way I could. I didn't go to Cleveland. I went to the Giants, but that's fine with me too. So
that's your nice ring.
Anyway, do you realize how many young men have always had that dream, and how many actually got to freaking experience the NFL? And you guys got to experience it. I was there for 3 years and done. You guys played, a damn near decade. And of course, you got a Super Bowl ring, Mike. So you become that sliver right there of folks. So you know what's so great though? When folks talk to you and they get to experience it through you vicariously, and get a little idea of what it is to be on that field in college football or pro football. You get to share some things in it, and it brings everybody together under that tent. It's such a great game. It's such a great game. And, and the enthusiasm for this season is what's so exciting, because, in this Mountaineer Legends, we've been talking for 3 years about, what we'd like to see, and we're tired of the excuses and all this stuff, to have something that we can really talk about. Again, we're undefeated right now, but for you guys, how's it feel? I mean, how does it feel? Mike, start with you, man. I know you're talking about the trenches, but how's the going into this season feel for you right now?
Well, I mean, I'm hoping that this is where we get to turn the page. Okay, it's been too long since we've been relevant. You know what I'm saying? We've been unrelevant. We've basically been everybody's homecoming favorite. So I'm just trying, we need to be relevant, and we need to be in the games and win them, win as many as we can.
Yeah.
One at a time. Beast, man. Beast.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, it's, I know a lot of Mountaineer fans and players all over the place. Outside of our circle, they're pissed too. It's like nobody, this is not cool. It needs to get to a better place. And we need to become relevant again. And, I'm hoping that we can do that. But, it's going to be a long journey. There's a lot of change in the college arena. So changes are for the good, and we need to know how to embrace the changes so that we can, transition that into, wins for the school and, wins for the staff, and everybody get a little more euphoric about West Virginia football again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Beast, how you feeling?
I'm on the same wavelength, but it just, I didn't even want to talk about last year. That's what I was thinking too. But it's one of those things we want to let that go.
Turn the page.
Yeah, we have to turn the page, because we do have a new regime, and I just think we need to see something early, like as far as professionalism. Our game planning, it didn't look like we were
how we play.
We didn't look like a franchise per se,
Right. Yeah.
Like we looked like a football team, but not like a program. And it was like every year we're trying to pick these other guys from different schools. That just shows me that there was a lack of development through coaching, which we all went. We if you didn't redshirt, I didn't redshirt, but if you did redshirt, that was development year. And we're letting guys go, or guys want to leave because they don't see that. They leave the school because they don't feel like they're getting coached. And I feel like that's going to be a major factor, is what coaches and how these guys coach. And like this year, it's going to be hard to judge, but we want to see the play. We want to see the energy. We want to see the intensity. We want to see the dogs, like I didn't see that. And then it's going to become, how are we recruiting, and that's going to be the major thing. Are we going to recruit, keep guys and develop them to be 4-year players like we were, or are we just going to let guys go because they gotta
want to stay.
Exactly. And that's
they gotta want to stay.
Great coaches, they keep players, and that's going to be the program.
Hey, let me drop this on you. All right. And I'm not comparing apples to oranges. And if we talk about last year too much, that's what we're doing. The only thing I'm going to say is this. Do you guys know how many new players are in Mountaineer football locker room going into this game this weekend? They
probably
brought
about
in
70.
71, Mike, 71. Now
Wow.
think about this. Think about this. Okay, so over these years, those guys that you're talking about, bees that weren't getting coached and whatever, they jumped ship and went somewhere else to get what they needed. Okay, a guy like Zach Frazier stayed because he is from Fairmont. He ain't going anywhere. He could have went to Alabama, I'm sure, and he said no. Okay, so you got those guys too. Okay, but at the end of the day, when Rich comes in, the first thing he did was he put a staff together that can get those guys to the next level. Program starts with pro. Okay, so we got to teach upper level so that guy can transition to the NFL when it's time. Because at the end of the day, that's the ambition that we talked about. You guys got to do it. I got to do it. All right, but that's the ambition. So, but you got to give me the tools to get there. Then you got to have the Jims and the Joes that can get there. And here's what happened. We recruited mediocrity for so long because we were mediocrity. We lost that edge in what we are representing, this brand that we're talking about. Now we got 70 new guys. And those guys are guys that want to be part of Rich Rodriguez's program. They want to get coached hard. They want to win the Big 12 championship. He didn't bring in a bunch of slaps. He brought in guys, and I saw it with my own two eyes last week, fellas. I went to practice on Wednesday, and I watched. And you guys know I'm going to sit there and I'm going to watch what needs to be watched. And I will tell you this. We got some dogs on that field, but more importantly, we got dogs that aren't being handed anything. They're throwing the bone in the middle of the kennel, and they're finding out which one of them badasses are going to go get it. You feel what I'm saying? And then once you get it,
that's good. I want hungry players. Hungry players. They play better. That's all I know. So
competition, Mike. Competition. We're going to compete every play. Last year, Nico came in, won 2 games for us. When Gigi was out, Gigi came in, went right back in. Nico didn't get one snap at freaking first team that week of prep. We just handed Green back the ball and said, here, you're the starter. Nah, I don't think so. Kurt Keel strained his ankle in the Rutgers game in 1982. And Big Joe's went in as a second team tackle. And you know what happened when Kurt Keel's ankle healed? He went to the other tackle because I ain't leaving. Now you got to take. Now you got to take my job, and I got to know that I got somebody breathing right down my heels. That's what I saw. I saw competition. I saw guys rolling. I saw Rich chew a guy's ass because he didn't get the freaking right signal, and then I saw him chew somebody because he didn't spot the ball fast enough. Man, when you're on the field, fellas, the effort, the intensity, if you're on the grid. Now, if you're on a sideline, that's different. But if you're on a grid, you're running. Right. You're running. You're running from drill to drill. You're getting coached. You're getting yelled at. You're getting a foot up your butt. And think about this. The staff that's out there, think about it. I mean, not only did he bring in some of his dudes, the Pat Whites and the Noel Devines, and we've got those Ryan Nealon's out there, we got those young guys. But look at the resumes of the dudes that are doing the teaching now. Oh, yeah. And let's face it, the guy running it, Rich, we all know Rich. We all know Rich personally. And Rich is one of the most fierce competitors I ever been around. And he's going to demand it on every snap. And that's what we're going to see.
He knows football. He's a good coach with that. So
yeah. Well, and I want to go back to something you said, Joe's, about last year with Nico and old Garrett Green. This year he's promoting the competition, right? It's not like, oh, well, Nico's got the position. He's a redshirt junior. He's been here. No, no, no. In fact, he was talking about the fifth string quarterback, Scotty Fox, saying how good he's doing. And he mentioned about potentially running all five of them, of the quarterbacks, right? Because he wants it to be a competition. He wants you to go day in, day out. Probably because he had Bednarik, who ended up getting hurt, and who came in behind him, Pat White, right? And Pat White was a phenomenal quarterback, won all the bowl games and everything. So you never know about that guy that's right behind you, that's hungry, that's trying to get in there.
Listen, you got to have depth. I don't care who you are. Somebody's going to get nicked or bruised or whatever. And, you got to have depth. And in today's league, in all the leagues, they got to have depth because, they're not, they train a lot differently now than they did in the old days. So there's a lot of injuries early in the season because they're not used to smacking it as much. So the more they do it early, the better off they're going to get used to it. That's how I see it. So, metal sharpens metal, and I get it, longevity and all that stuff. But you gotta come out of the gates. Man, if you can win your first couple games, that really sets the precedence for the season. It gives you confidence. You can win the next game. I mean, the whole thing just, stacks up in your favor. That's especially the opening game at home.
Momentum. Start with momentum.
Big victory. Yep. Yeah, because you got those people up there near Pittsburgh, the Robert Morris, and those are all the same type of guys almost. You got Pennsylvania guys, Ohio guys, Florida guys, some Texas and Californians. So, they're coming down for a paycheck, but, it'd be a good game for West Virginia to sharpen their skills. That's for sure. So,
hey, they're a D1 team. They got scholarships. Yeah. They put their pants on the way we do. I mean, like you just said, I mean, it's all about us, though. Do
you guys think that we need a statement win though? Because we're a Big 12. We're a Big 12 team. And if we go in there and it's just some 32 to 26, we need to show these dudes.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a new regime.
We definitely need a statement win. I mean, I get all that, but I mean, the first game is the first game, so that's it. So that's who we get to play. So they get to play us, we get to play them. I think one walks away with a check of probably $1 million or more, and
but it's the first.
Hopefully, it's a good game for West Virginia where they get their rhythm rolling. They need a rhythm, a big time rhythm.
They do, and you look at building into this. You got so many new faces, but most of these guys have been here since spring. So what they did in the weight room and what they did in preparation. Mike, you brought up a great point. They don't bang like they used to, so the calluses aren't there yet. Mm-hmm. So that first game, you could get dinged. But in that first game, you also want to build your depth. I want to steamroll these guys, Bees. I want to steamroll them. We have to. It's a statement. It's Robert Morris. How dare you come into our house and think you can beat us or even hang with us? And we should steamroll this team. But in the same token, when you look at the depth chart, you don't see first team, second team, third team. You see first team or this guy or this guy. So they're still in evaluation mode big time as coaches, trying to get guys in the right place, knowing what they can do, what are their skill levels, where can they help us, how can we put them in the right places to make things happen. So it's still an evaluation process. So you want to get, we want to steamroll them, but in the same breath, we want to get those guys in there as much as we can to get them as much game experience and gel this team. It's the first time this football team has ever put the uniform together. I don't care how much you've practiced and what you've practiced and how you've practiced. That first game, you guys know, man, it's your gut's a wrench. Yeah. You're trying to remember stuff. These guys, a lot of these guys, I say a lot of them, some of them have only been here a few months trying to learn a whole new system. So it's going to be up to the coaches to determine what can we do at a high level.
Yeah, it's definitely there's a big learning curve when you bring about 70 guys in, and some of them are new, and they got to learn a whole new system. It's not as simple as they put it, but in the end, it's football, so just get your pads ready.
Amen.
Well, these guys are there 24/7 nowadays, though. Too. I mean,
yeah, good point.
It's like a whole different, like you guys said, it's a whole different game. I took my daughter on a visit to Kentucky, and it was like June, and they're out there as a team. The whole team is out there. It's not
with the coaches,
and that's what I'm saying. There's just there's no football, but they're out there. You know what they're doing.
Teaching. They're teaching.
Exactly.
They're teaching. And that's the way it's supposed to be. I mean, I'm glad that they're given that opportunity, because that's how you develop. That's how you develop. I want good coaching. I want to have access, and I want good coaching. Right?
Yeah. You always want to elevate the player with learning something more and new than he came with. So if you can't keep elevating, that's a problem. That's a problem in college to a degree, and it's a problem in the NFL to a degree. You got a lot of kids that are first round, second round, third rounds, or whatever, and they come in, and all of a sudden they're on top of the world. But is that program ready to accept that person? Do they have an elevated program to make them actually better? And will they listen? That's the other thing. Can you listen long enough to learn? And same with the college. You gotta bring them in, and yeah, they could be a top 5 pick or whatever in the whole country, and the 5-star, 4-star, 3-star syndrome. And then all of a sudden you got to come to college, and then you got to learn more. You got to elevate a little bit more. It's how is a program ready to accept the player? I can't imagine most of these players not knowing how to play football. It's just, how do you reach them to achieve maximum, performance? So that's the end game.
I think that's really what Rich focuses on, right? I mean, he brings it out of him. He sets the bar really high. Again, I went to the practices. If the coaches aren't doing what they have to do, they'll have to do up downs, right? He's setting that expectation. He calls it the hard edge. He's setting it there, and if you're not up to that standard, you better be getting off the field, right? Because I saw him chew a guy. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
I saw him chewing a guy at a scrimmage the other day, and I was up where the box seats are, like, because it was hot, and so I'm up there in the shade, and I could hear him just chewing him as if he was standing like next to me and you right now, just because he's like all animated all over him. Again, that expectation is there. That's the biggest difference that I saw. All the coaches are all over him if they're not doing what they need to do.
They're holding everybody accountable, and they're making them do it. That's the battle there. Hell, I had a NFL coach. This is my year 3 and 4 with the Giants. My D-line coach, Earl Leggett, great defensive line teacher. We started every practice with 3 sets of 15 up downs, and we were grown men doing that. And that's exactly how we started every day. You know what I'm saying? So,
oh,
you can only imagine how he's right.
Yeah, man. Hey, some coaches are old school, and you think about it, the game is as basic as it can get. It's not changed as far as techniques. Guys are blocking and tackling. And getting off blocks.
Attack the ball, blocking and tackling. I mean,
he would literally go like this. It was like this was his speed. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Wow. That fast. And then you had to get up, shuffle left, shuffle right, front, back, and then up, down, up, down, up, down. You did 3 sets of 15, and that's how we started every day for my last 2 years. So.
Hey, let me
show you what,
we
were in real trained shape. That's all I can say.
You become trained to just go.
That's it.
You're trained. That's funny.
We were in good shape, I'll tell you that much. Meanwhile, those offensive linemen, they're over there talking with their coach, not doing many up downs. You know what I mean, Joe?
Hey, we don't like up downs.
Shots fired.
We don't like up downs. Hey, go ahead, Randy.
Hey.
I was going to say. Oh, go ahead.
They always gave us the dark jerseys, so we were always absorbing the sun. And the offensive guys always got the lighter color jerseys. Yeah. I mean, what the hell is this? Up downs and dark jerseys are, bringing in the sun harder on you. You know what I mean, B?
Yep, yeah, exactly. I was in Jacksonville with the real heat.
Shit. Oh
yeah, I hear
humidity. Right.
That's heat.
Yeah.
That's heat. Hey, I gotta share this. This is cute. You guys are talking about effort and intensity and getting chewed out and all the things that really, in my opinion, make for a good football practice. I mean, that's what it's all about. And
absolutely,
this is the last time I'm gonna compare to last year. I just have to say this though. Do you guys remember us chewing it up last year about what I shared, what I saw at that Penn State game with the snack break?
Yeah.
Remember that?
I recall hearing that.
All right. Well, a year ago, Brad and I hunt up there before the Penn State game on a Tuesday, mind you. Everybody's out there in shorts and they're just, patting going and hardly touching each other. The Tuesday before the Penn State game. All right. Are you kidding me? All right. So anyway, we're watching this and they get to period 8. The horn blows and they call out snack break and everything stops. And guys are laying around and leaning against the fence. And coaches are all gathered up. And it went on. Oh, man, a good 10, 12 minutes. And then they got back into practice. Okay. Well, on Wednesday, I find out that snack break, that's a guideline. That's like you must provide an NCAA. You must provide a snack break during practice. Well, what I saw on Wednesday was the most freaking intense snack break I ever saw. They were that snack break lasted about a minute and a half. You didn't sit down. You're running to the next drills, doing your fruit squeezy or whatever you're eating. What I'm saying to you is this: everything they do, they got rid of the ones that don't want to do it that way, and they got ones that want to do it that way. A guy like Preston Fox came back for an additional year because he wanted to be part of a Rich Rodriguez coached program. Let me say one thing to you guys, and answer back if I'm wrong in saying this. You look at Rich and Rich is there a second stint. In life, when you get a second chance at something so special, especially, we get second chances all the time. Chris, we give out second chances like they're candy, but when it really comes to the apex, the best of the best, you only get usually one shot at that. If it's gone forever. This guy's got a second chance, and he also is being motivated by a redemption. This is an opportunity to redeem and bring back all them people that jumped off the bandwagon when he rolled out of here. And now he's back. And there's still a lot of bandwagon folks that are like, yeah, man, what happened 16 years ago or whatever it is now, man. Come on, man. That's a long time ago.
18, I think.
Whatever. Right. Here he is. Right. And he brings now what he brings. But that second chance and that redemption motivation, man, and I'm talking about Rich as a person, an individual. When he talks now, you listen to him. He don't want that was all exciting 5 months ago. Now I'm here. I've been here 5 months. Everybody's been here. Now it's Mountaineer football. It's about Mountaineer football. It ain't about me. It ain't about the starting quarterback. It's about Mountaineer football. Man, that's exciting to hear. But at nighttime when he puts his head down, he thanks the Lord for this because he's got this second chance and he's got an opportunity to rebuild the brand, to get us back in the top 20 every year, which is where we're supposed to be. And we can be. We can be. I'm tired of listening to people say, we can't be here. Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can. We're getting ready to unveil a renovation at the stadium. We're going to do some things there. I've heard some really good stuff down the road. And you know how it is. You win, they'll jump on that brand right there. And when you got, an engineer up there pushing a train like a Pat McAfee and the social media burst that's out there and everybody's talking the buzz, now it's up to us. Now we got to go into the locker room. Now we got to go where we as players exist. And now we got to put all that away from us. And we got to really come together as a team and find out what we're going to have for the state and for program and for WVU and for all the alumni that have been soured over these last whatever. Here we are. You want us back. You want this thing freight training down the road to a Big 12 championship. We got a chance. We got a chance. We got to. I mean, it's a heck of a schedule. I mean, we got some dogs on this schedule. All right.
Yeah,
that's football worldwide now.
The schedule gets tough as the weeks move on, but that's the way it's supposed to get. So
Well,
I think they have.
You don't want to play powder puff teams all year.
And that's the thing. Like when I was saying at your event, Jaws, like all of us have connects or regions that we have connects, and it should be a network. Or we should have a Zoom with Rodriguez,
right? So
that we can try to bring some of our ties to the program. Like I got my boys in Philly. Man, they got some big boys down there in Philly. And I'm talking about they got some. Philly is winning the PIAA championships right now because if you recall, they were never in Pennsylvania State. There was just the Philadelphia leagues, the Catholic League and the public. So they never played PIAA. Now they're winning all the championships, and all the coaches are my boys. I'm sure you got the same relationship, Fox. Like your boys are coaching.
Yeah, I mean, here's one of the things I think. All West Virginia athletes, all sports, but in particular football, I think we need to develop a plan with them to use everybody that has been a major player for them or any player for them to use them as ambassadors across the country. Because for us to really go the full charge against the odds of everything making a really good team, because it's going to, we got a good coach. We know he's going to lay the groundwork down, but we need to utilize, all Mountaineers, past, present, and future across the country. We need to bind them in a fiber for a network. So like, if a guy can, maybe you can come and, give him a couple heads up bees on some defensive back work and Joe's you on the line and maybe me on the D line. And then if you got guys that can't come, maybe they can help recruit people, real dog, not that we don't have dogs yet, but we don't know what we got yet, but maybe we can help recruit the process to help the funnel. The funnel needs everyone's assistance because you look at all the other colleges around us, we got a lot of competition. So we got to try to drum up a different way of bringing the folks to the party. That's how I see it. So
that's going to be cultivated. Listen, that's going to come. This is a brand new staff. They just got here and they had to rebuild with 70 guys. They didn't have a whole lot of time to start networking and reaching out there.
Recruiting and
they had to jump right now to get right.
No, I understand that. I understand that.
You watch. No, I agree with you. I think that we all have connections. We got guys living all over this country, and in the Wild West that it is. It wasn't about 20 years ago, and you couldn't talk to a recruit. You couldn't go out there and then do it. Mm-hmm. Now it's wide open. Yeah. So why not?
Yeah, I like that because I like that because it shouldn't be. Yeah, we need to utilize it to its utmost potential because that's where it's going to really put us over the fray. The way I see it, we got to get up and over that edge.
Yeah, that's what happened. I know some players complained about when Holgerson took over that they weren't feeling welcomed back in, like former players and stuff like that. So that had been a gripe before about that kind of thing, where it's like, hey, we bled the gold and blue, right? Like we should feel like welcome home. And even Joe's, I know you said last year, you didn't even get to give a speech before the Penn State game, and you were part of the game that won, 17-14. So it's like of anybody that to have come and be inspirational and talk, it would be former players. And I know, again, Pat McAfee was very boisterous about who he thought should be in there and that kind of stuff. But again, it's a brotherhood, right? You put on the pads, you bled out on the field. It's a brotherhood. We need those brothers recruiting. I mean, Miami, that's what they were big on, right? They did that all the time,
Yeah, I mean,
so.
the bottom line to all that is it's once, it felt like, I'm not going to say that all the way, but you can't have an old West Virginia and a new West Virginia. The fiber blends together, and you gotta embrace all.
That's a great way to put it.
That's where it's at. The delicate fiber of a team, NFL, NCAA, colleges, it's so delicate that if you go the wrong direction for even a couple minutes, you could be off course for over 10 or 20 years. I mean, that's, we've seen it happen. I mean, you're either in the business of being a really good football team and becoming a better football team, or you're going to be in the business of just fulfilling TV contracts, throwing guys out there. There's NFL teams out there like that, the way I see it.
Making money. Making money.
They'll just put a team together because they're fulfilling a TV contract. Okay, well, that's great. That's nothing exciting. But, you want a team that wants to elevate and elevate and elevate. I know Rome wasn't built in a day and all those sayings like that, but, we need to keep the push on. Keep the push on.
Go ahead, Dees.
The thing is, when you look at all the programs that win, what is the major factor? They have the best players. It's simple.
The Jims and the Joes. If you ain't got the Jims and the Joes,
and if you don't have the best,
I could coach Ohio State's roster, I could coach
and if you don't have the best players, you better have a program that's going to train them to get real close to being the best. And that's really where it comes down to.
And that's huge, Mike. That's huge, because you're not going to get a bunch – the stars, I think, 5-star, 3-star. I was probably a moon. I wasn't even ranked. You know what I'm saying?
No, I was
but that's what you do. You go find – I mean, here's something – and Randy, you started this, and you guys both interjected. I'm going to bring this back one more time. When I got to Mountaineer football, as when you got to Mountaineer football, Mike, same with you, Bees, and those that came after, we stand on the shoulders of those that came before us. The torch of Mountaineer football. When us guys say Mountaineer football, we know exactly what that is. We know exactly what that is. That's hard, gritty, freaking down in the trenches, hardcore, jacking them up football. Am I right in saying that? That's Mountaineer football, the Mountaineer football way. Well, you know what? You're supposed to pass that torch each and every year. Well, the torch went out for a few years, didn't it? It really did. Mountaineer football didn't matter. Those that came before, that's us. Those guys really didn't give much care in who played there before I got here. I don't care. I'm from Kentucky. I'm from wherever.
Well, absolutely.
So now it's a different animal. Now we got a guy right down the road. He's bled blue and gold since he was born, just like Cottle down there in the corner.
That's
right. Randy is a Mountaineer because he was born here, and he's been a Mountaineer fan since he was a little kid. Well, now Rich, this Rich Rod 2.0 deal, there's something that could be said about this because he understands what Mountaineer football is. He knows, he was taught Mountaineer football in the locker room as a player. Mm-hmm. And then he took that into his coaching mentality ever since, and where he is right now, he brings that back. The torch is lit. I mean, it really is. There's a breath of fresh air, but really that Mountaineer football torch now has a flame. Now we all got to blow on the flame. And the only way we can blow on the flame is by winning. Steamrolling Robert Morris, going over to Ohio and punching them right in the throat, and then coming back here and doing what we need to do. And that's what we need to beat Pitt decisively. I don't want a cliffhanger. I'd love to see that, get a big win and send them back home in front of, the crowds are going to be great. Am I right in saying this, Randy? This is like, we're like record season ticket sales.
Oh yeah. We increased dramatically from last year to this year. I think there was 13,000 more tickets sold so far, right? Yeah. And then so they're definitely going to be there in full force. And like you said, that Pitt game is going to be insane. But in the last 6 years, not to look back, but we didn't have any of those marquee wins, right? Mm. So if we're able to go smack Pitt in the mouth, right? That'll be good. But I'm also looking because they only have us winning like 7 games. And again, Rich's first year, we only won 3, and it was like, who's this guy? But then he built off of it. And like you said, building a program, then it's like 8, 9, 10, 11. But, I think with what his ability to do is, I think we can get some of those marquee wins again. And I think that is going to be the biggest thing because it's embarrassing. I know Pat McAfee talking to, hey, we can beat Penn State, and Herb Street laughing at him. That pissed him off. I know it did, right? Because that's why he was trying to get Rich Rod back and get that hard edge, is because when you think Mountaineer football, you want to think smack them in the mouth football, right? We're blue collar. That's what we are. Again, I'm from West Virginia, born and raised. So, you better lace up those bootstraps, just like put a little bit more air in that helmet. Like that resonates with the people here in the state, hearing that. And, Bill Stewart, that the inspirational talk that he gave before that game, that was actually Rich Rod would do that literally before every game. So he was trying to do what Rich Rod used to talk about. And you see that, up on the scoreboard to fire the crowd up, because that's the kind of stuff that gets us going. Right. So I'm just really excited for this weekend. And like you said, I want to get back to the days where we'd beat Rutgers 70-0. I'd like to see us this weekend, 63, 70 points, just smack them, and then holding them on D.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Iron Curtain, baby.
That's what I want.
I don't care if we score 100 points, but I don't want those other people score 99. That's all I got to say.
I don't want that
defense,
kind of thing.
right? Like Bees is there. Like
man.
He's intercepting passes. He's lighting people up. Like, yeah.
He's some D, man. That's what we're missing. That those big hits, no turnovers. It's like we need all that, man.
Right. Exciting football again.
Exactly.
We need to control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. I mean, we need to own it. Yeah. Own it like you mean it. Own your box. If you don't own your box, you're gonna get rocked. Is what's gonna happen. So.
And Mike, you said some stuff about like the DNA. I remember when Boom and Big Dave came back. They came back to school to finish their degrees. I was like trying to be around them all the time because I want, what's it like up there? What's it like up there? You know what I mean? It's like them on campus. That was huge for me, because I would always just try to get into their ears about what it's like up there. Because I think it was my junior year they came back, and I had a pretty good year, and I didn't know what to do. And it was like them being there just helped me, man. And it's like being in a different state of mind professionally, This is what they're looking for. This is what they want. This is what they want from you, and it's like they help.
That's good. It's always good. It's always good to be able to have someone that you can tap back on. So that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think you just hit on it. We need to start a whole new network, and we're going to call it Mountaineer Mentorship, where we bring back all the old players who just talking to these kids, right? Yeah. And laying it out for them. This is what it's like. I mean, you guys had great NFL careers, being able to tell them this is what you got. Joes, you said it earlier in this conversation that it takes forever just to get into the NFL. It's like less than 1% of people actually make it.
Yeah.
So,
and
Kevin.
And not to cut in on that, but I mean, I know these young adults, the best part is, I mean, they're able to get some money a little bit sooner than if you're able to make 4 or 5 years worth of money in college to move on, and you either go pro if you're fortunate enough, or you get a job. I mean, a 4 or 5 year head start on money is a big deal for anybody, as long as they've got it going in the right direction. So, that's a big deal. I mean, I know that, they're still figuring out some of this money stuff, but I mean, don't make it a hard thing. It don't have to be hard. They're making the money anyway, so give them. I think people want to get dedicated to West Virginia, then we need to have a good program. We need to dedicate them. We need to have a dedicated full-time retirement for them, and then let them get that NIL money, put it away. I mean, that's a big deal, because guess what? You don't need your money when you're young. You need it when you get older. I mean, that's the biggest part. So, but for them to be able to make some type of income to start with, that's a big deal, and they could retire earlier. So,
and it keeps
get
moving.
Another job and retire again. So it's like that's a big deal, big deal. So.
You got to keep moving into the future. You got to keep pushing into the right direction. And with that, hey, we've seen a new face on the screen here. I want to welcome and we were just this is great you joined us right now. This is KJ Johnson. He's the now the director of our varsity club at WVU. We finally got a body in there, but we got somebody that loves what's gonna transpire. KJ, we were just talking a couple of seconds ago. First, thanks for joining us. And before we get into this real quick, just take a brief moment to again thank the folks that are making this happen. Our friends at Little General, Greg Darby and his team, for being on board and helping us make Mountaineer Legends possible. We're going to be on every week, and we're going to go out there. We got some great places we're going to come visit with the Legends. We're going to come hang out. So we are truly ambassadors of this brand, our WV, our West Virginia brand. And with that being said, got to thank Trilogy as well. My man Randy Cottle and his group there, Trilogy Innovations, getting on board and not only being, the podcast guru with us, but also helping us out to make sure we get to where we need to get this year with this podcast. And we were just talking a couple of seconds ago about, how important it is to get us as ambassadors and make it welcome, and how these last few years it hasn't felt that way, and a lot of guys got a little sour taste in their mouth. Well, I got news for you. That's all 180-degree change. Now it's going to take time, like it does to build a football team. It takes a minute. It doesn't happen overnight. But KJ, hey, welcome. Appreciate you joining us. You doing all right there?
Yep.
I see you're in your office. You're working.
Oh no, we can't hear you.
No. Yeah, we can't hear you. You got no sound? Huh? You want to write up little index cards? Well, hey, we can all see
he's going to type. He's going to type or write something.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Write a note.
This podcast is closed caption for the hearing impaired.
It's closed caption. Hey, no kidding. Hey, until he gets his sound, I'll share real quick.
You got some headphones, right? KJ? Got some headphones, earpieces?
He can hear us, but we can't hear him. Is your microphone muted? No? Yeah. You got one of them cheap computers. Anyway, all right, here you go. For all of us, we can see him. I was just with him down in St. Albans, all right, for Mountaineer Main Street, getting ready for the football season. I went there last year. I went down there this year. What a great time. Mountaineers, man, sea of blue and gold, 5,000 strong, and KJ was with us. And KJ is now what we would call the director of the varsity club. And the varsity club used to be under the MAC, all right? It's no longer under the MAC umbrella. It's under the athletic department umbrella, which is exciting because that gives KJ opportunity. He's not worrying too much about fundraising. He's worrying about family raising, getting family back together, getting us back together with a welcome arm as part of the program, but more importantly, as our brotherhood. Us guys, we've done a great job of keeping in touch with each other and hanging out and being part of it. But our brotherhood is much larger than that. And it includes a lot of other dudes. And it would be nice that we when we get together, instead of there being 30 guys, there's 130 guys. You know what I'm saying? So I think we got a guy in KJ Johnson who I might add, KJ graduated from WVU and he was on the equipment team for Catlett and then Beeline. All right. So he's the equipment manager-ish. All right. He's talking to his bookie right now. Look, all right. I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. But KJ as a manager, Beasley's and Mike's locker looked just like the third team guy's locker. There was no, you don't play favorites. you're part of the group. We're all part of the same team. Yeah, there's going to be starters and there's going to be guys that make it more and bigger and whatever, but we're all part of the same team. And that's what KJ is preaching to this generation now and us. Hey, we're all part of the same team. And of course, you got to feel that way. And you got to be able to, have somebody that'll reach out to you and provide avenues. The varsity club tent is back. We got to go back. We haven't had this since Dale Wolfley was in that role. And Dale, God rest his soul, Dale, when he left as that director, they put guys in there sporadically that just never really jumped it and grabbed it and said, hey, we got to get this thing back. Well, KJ being named this, I wish he was able, but he's having this.
He said
audio.
the IT department is there in his office right now, so they're working to get his mic.
He's
working,
got the IT.
Yeah.
I just want to hear him. I just want to hear him throw his spiel out to you guys, because I know both you guys. You guys know KJ. He's trying to build that network, and I say build it, rebuild it. So
yeah, and
the network is there. You just got to connect us all again.
Yeah. And speaking of that network, I mean, other than all the guys that we all know and before us and a little bit after us, when I did talk to KJ, they said we're really having a hard time finding the Holgerson era players and then the other guys players. So I mean, try to reach out to them the best way we can.
That's so sad because that went away. I mean, and it's going to be hard from today forward, the way the locker rooms are, because guys come and go, or do they? Mm-hmm. Which goes back to what you said, Bees, in the very beginning of this thing.
Hey, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. The object
we can hear you.
To get a guy to come in and stay. All right, come on. There, we can see you. We can hear it.
Let's
go.
There
you go. Let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
Hey, you got to be proud of that WVU tech group, right? Yeah.
Right down the hall, man.
Randy graduated from there. Yeah. He was a tech guru.
Right.
Hey, welcome, KJ.
Appreciate you guys.
Did you hear all the nice things I said about you?
Yeah, that's why I wanted to have my mic off so I could give you time to talk about me. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, hey, you got the floor, man. What do you want to say? What do you want to say to Mountaineer Nation? More importantly, us alumni out there. Talk to us.
Yeah. So there's a couple things. There's a new person in me that understands the importance of the heritage and the tradition of the program. So I was on the Friday evening, the Saturday morning show. I did my taping last night. Talked about the significance of the 75 team that we're honoring. And if you look back through the history, that's probably one of the teams that springboarded it. We got a Peach Bowl win in 75. Coach Nealon gets here in the 80s. Played for 2 national championships in 5 years in the 80s and 90s. Rich gets here in the 2000s. Playing 3 BCS. I mean, seriously, across the country, name how many teams have won 3 BCS bowls.
Yeah, we actually had more BCS wins than all of ACC.
Correct. Yeah. So I feel like it's important for you all and everybody that's been part of it, because our buildings don't look like they do without the success that you all had. So to bring everyone together is my goal. The lineage is important. We don't, when people see, like now people are going to look back at the Pat White, Steve Slayton videos and say, man, I'd love to be part of that. So that's going to help our recruiting process, in my opinion, to get Coach the type of players that he wants in our system again. So it's important for you all to be part of it so they can, and it's good to see a Brian Joswiak that was a a top 10 pick in the NFL draft, a Mike Fox that's got a Super Bowl ring, and Aaron Beasley that's spent a decade in the NFL. Our guys need to see that so they know they don't have to leave to achieve their dreams. They can do them right here in Morgantown. Our facilities are as good as anyone in the country. Our exposure is as good as anyone in the country. Our brand is super strong. Our coaches put together an incredible staff. And I mean, the Flying WV is recognizable all over the world. So, so we just need to bring everybody together, not just football, every sport that we have. We've got success in every sport. Our cross country team finished second in the country last year. Our rifle team is our rifle team. I mean, let's be honest.
Like 18
it's the
girls soccer.
Yeah, I mean,
look at girls soccer.
Our women's and men's soccer have played in the College Cup.
Amen.
I mean, this is a great time to be a Mountaineer, regardless of what sport.
Baseball just won the Big 12 championship.
Right.
I mean, come on, man.
Our women's basketball team is always Coach Kellogg has a great thing going there. Coach Hodge with our new basketball coach is really going to get things rolling here.
And all that being said, KJ, all that being said, and all that wonderful stuff is driven by how good the football program rolls.
There's no question about that. It's funny. I was talking about, my role, and I have to. Other student athletes don't take this wrong. Football will always be a priority because, and not because it's football. I don't want to say a priority. Everyone will get their due. However, there's no other sport on campus that graduates 20 a year.
Right.
So everyone else graduates 3, 4, 7 at the most, something like that. So just by sheer numbers,
great point.
Football is going to have our largest alumni base. So it's not going to be it'll be my primary focus. Those other sports, we really need you to be involved, but football is football. I mean, it is what it
numbers.
Is.
Like you said, it's numbers.
It's just sheer numbers. So, and I think that Brian and Mike and Bees, when you've come back, I feel like you've seen, or at least I hope you have, and I've said this before, if a football player doesn't feel welcome back now, with Rich back and the way that he and I are working together to do these things, and Raquel and Dusty and the staff they have over there, that's on them. That's not on us anymore. Because April we had the spring game. May coach did his spring picnic. In the summer we had
that was great.
Yeah. And in the summer we have your event, Brian. And then now we're at football. I mean, since April, it's been direct contact with the former football players, something every month since spring ball.
That ain't happened. That ain't never. As a matter of fact, that ain't never happened like that. Yeah, it really hasn't. So it's beautiful.
To be quite honest, if you hear of a former football player that says, "Hey, I haven't heard about the same thing," that's on. Get me your information. I will contact you. That's not a problem. Getting you here is not the problem on our end. We want you to come. You are welcome back. The doors are open. It's like your neighborhood. You hang out with your friends. You had friends, you could walk right in their door, and they would welcome you in, and the way coaches invited you all back, you guys should never walk into that building and it feel odd and it feel like you don't belong. Just like a former basketball player should never walk into the Coliseum and not feel at home, so that's kind of the atmosphere that we're trying to have here. And, I can't speak to the way it was before I was here. I think it helps that I was part of it. I think it helps that I was a manager for basketball for so long, and I worked within the athletic department here. I got my undergrad here in '92. I got my master's in '95. I stuck around forever. I left and then came back. So I understand what it feels like. We haven't had a basketball reunion in 5 or 6 years. So we'll have one this fall this winter when the basketball schedule comes out. But it's important for us all to get together. A lot of these guys, let's say the Coliseum or Mountaineer Field, they haven't been back since they played. It doesn't look the same. When Joe's played, it wasn't bowled in on the other side. We didn't have touchdown terrace and diversified suites and all that kind of thing. So they need to see the progress we've made, and a lot of it is because of them. Even back, Beasley, you're the most recent one in this group, right? As far as players. It's changed a ton since Bees played.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that grass field that you used to sit on with the student section over there.
Right,
and,
right,
they're
right.
gone. Yeah, I used to
Right.
sit there.
Right. And,
When bees played, actually.
yeah. So, we got to get these guys back to see what they helped build. This doesn't happen without success. If you're not successful and you don't put 65,000 seats and you're not on national TV every weekend and things like that, but you're not on national TV unless you give them a reason to put you on national TV, right?
There it is.
Yeah.
There
So
you got to earn your spot.
Yeah.
Earn it.
So the fact that we're on it means we're doing something right,
Yeah.
So, and we can continue to do that. But it's important for you all to be here. You walk down toward training table from the Hall of Traditions, you got the NFL helmets on the wall, and it's got all the players that played for that particular team and when they played there. I mean, if that doesn't resonate with a recruit,
right,
or a former or a current player, then their mind isn't right, because everything, everyone, regardless if you're a walk-on to a 5-star, the goal eventually is to wear the shield in the NFL. That's the goal. So with all those names up there, it specifically shows if you are a Mountaineer, you can make it to the league.
Right.
And
then
be successful.
with that, we got to recruit them all to the Summit Society. Get all these former players or players that played in the NFL. If we get them in the Summit Society, it's reciprocal, right? Just keeps feeding into the program.
Well, and yeah, we definitely want that. But me as the varsity club guy who's not under the MAC any longer.
Oh, okay.
My goal is not to fundraise. Listen, if anyone wants to give money, I would gladly get you in touch with Kyle Poland over at the MAC, who played football here. We got a football manager over there, and Jake Prady. We got Ben Murray, who does an incredible job. I would gladly get you in touch, but that's not me. I am relationships and communication. I am family.
Relationships, communication, and that's important. There are a bunch of guys out there that need to reach out to the varsity club, or they need to reach out to one of us, and we'll get you the information. Or if I know somebody that's not, involved, then I can actively pursue them and steer them to the varsity club, because we got to grow. We got to grow our numbers a little bit, absolutely. But more than that is hey, we're all getting older, and we need to stay connected for as long as we can, because that's really where this brotherhood, that's what it's all about. That's the legacy part of it, and cultivating these new guys and getting them involved. But that window that you're talking about, that Holgerson through this last one, that torch I said earlier kind of went out for a little while. So we need to get it going again. We need to flame the fire and get excited about it. And a big part of it's going to be winning football games and getting back into the fold. And I can tell you this, Rich is accessible. Rich, you could, a year ago, I've got stuff for the golf tournament, and they opened the door of the facility building and handed it out to me. I didn't even get in. I couldn't even get in. Now all you got to do is let them know you're coming, and we're there. You have access. You're part of it. You go press them buttons in that Hall of Fame, and you see Mike Fox's face. You see Aaron Beasley's face, but you also see trophies in there that it took a whole team of people to earn. We're all part of that. Yeah, there's specific individuals that are, and quote, the marquee guys. I mean, we've got, Daryl and Major in the College Football Hall of Fame, and now Steve Slayton. So we've got some of those really marquee guys. But we all earned that trophy. That guy that was running special teams, or that guy that was running scout team, that guy was just as important to the program and winning as you and I were in the trenches, Mike. We all matter.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And, everyone has a role. I mean, even though I was a manager, but I had a role.
Absolutely.
I had a role. So everybody has the role. And as long as you're willing to accept your role for the betterment of the team, that will breed success. But I want to give Coach Rod some credit because I don't know if you guys know this. I think you do. But that spring picnic that you guys loved so much, where they announced your names and everything, that was 100% Coach Rod's idea. I helped implement it and that kind of thing. But he said, if you guys come to the spring game, I don't get to spend time with you. If you come to our game in the fall, I don't get to spend time with you because we got game prep going on. He said, I want to create something that when you come to town, I can interact with you for a few hours. And wow, did he? I mean, he went above and beyond.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a fun event. It was nice.
What a great event.
Nice.
And I don't see that changing. I feel like that event will be an annual thing now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I want you guys to know the culture over there is inviting. And that was 100% Rich's idea, to have all you back a time that he could go from table to table and hang out with you guys and do pictures and, and all of those kind of things. So I look for that to be, I mean, think of how many we had. We had like 108, something like that in the first year. And that's only going to grow and grow and grow. We might outgrow the building. We might have to put it someplace else, which
isn't a bad
thing. They might like to build another one, right?
No, let's go. Let's go.
Well,
let's build it. Let's do it.
He came right back, and of course we invited him. He was always part of our Children's Hospital golf outing over the years, when he was here back in the day. And the first thing when he came back, was, hey man, I want to be involved again. Yeah. And he was out there at the Thursday event at Tropics, even got up on the microphone a little bit, ended up roasting me and threw me under the bus a little bit. But that's all what it's about, man. It's all fun. That's the beauty of it is he's one of us, but he's also a Mountaineer. It's not about him. It's about the program and where the program needs to be. And that's really what it's all about. It takes the whole village to make this thing work.
And even before the spring picnic that you guys had, we had you all come to the spring game, and we did our little brunch deal at training table.
Yep.
And Coach had a spring game getting ready to start, and came in and spent like an hour in there for that, which he didn't have to come at all. I said, hey, just stop by, say hi to the guys, and go get ready. But he was there like an hour. And he definitely had other things to do. He had just gotten here. They're evaluating talent, the current talent versus who can make it here, who can't make it here, who do we need to bring in? And that was a really critical time of team evaluation, because he was kind of inherited what he inherited. And they were doing some serious player evaluation right then, and he still took like an hour to spend time with the alums that came back. So it's important to him for you guys to be involved, without a doubt.
Hey, that's a great point. He trusts his staff. Mm. He's got a great coaching staff that he doesn't have to run around and micromanage everything.
Yeah.
He can trust that these guys are going to do the job when I'm doing this other job, because as head coach, he's got 1,000 jobs he's got to do. He's got to be able to know that those guys are prepping and getting ready to go. So when I walk out there, we're right where we need to be, in the right spot we need to be. And I think that's a testament to him and the staff that he's amassed, from top to bottom. That's so important. And for him to spend the time with us, and I watched him. He spoke to everybody that was in that room at the spring picnic. He spent time with everybody. It's just, again, it's a breath of fresh air. But he's one of us. And when I say that, he wore this as we all did, and that's a different animal. That's a different animal leading us this year. It's exciting.
Absolutely.
Plus, he's got other guys that are around him. The Chris Herrings, the Noel Devines, the Pat Whites. These guys that wore. These guys are in the trenches, continuing to push the torch. I know for a fact. that right there motivates. It motivates us all. It's exciting. That's exciting.
A big name to have in there. Pat White as a coach, eventually working his way up. That's pretty big, man. Noel Devine, one of the top recruits in the country when he was coming out. That's big. to have them still coaching at the university, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they were in Rich's program. And
Yeah,
again,
and
they're alumni. They're members of the varsity club. We're
that's the
all
thing.
part of that. That's
When
the
you get a
beauty
coach
of it.
like that, most times they don't want to leave because they've been gone and they miss West Virginia and want to come back and stay. Who wouldn't want to stay in West Virginia and coach?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they might be wanting to work their way up, but West Virginia is a great place to live, man.
Yep.
Yep.
Right.
Sure is.
It is.
Sure is. Sure
I
is.
mean, except for the winter and all that, but
But there's still
It's
worse
low
places
cold.
there are worse places in the winter too still.
exactly.
Hey, 4-wheel drive. That takes care of
Absolutely.
little
Four-wheel-
4-wheel drive.
Hey, I love all
Yeah.
that stuff. I went sledding down a hill in a trash bag on my visit.
That's right.
Huh?
I was
We were-
sliding down the Law Hill on
Law
trail.
Hill.
Hospital,
man.
Yo, that was my visit. I'm like, I'm coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you
Good.
see the team training this year, running sprints
Running
up
back
down Law
Yep.
School? He brought that back, man.
Hey,
Again,
hey,
a
instead
hard
of-
edge
instead
is
of-
back.
hey, instead of having pool parties and picnics, we're running the freaking Law Center Hill.
Hey,
Woo!
Coach Hodge took the hoops guys over. The basketball guys got to run the
Oh,
hill.
did he?
Yeah.
That should be
Maybe we'll have to
everybody
get
should have
Jen
to do that.
Greeny out there with the volleyball team and get them running up and down the hill.
Let's go.
That's your that's when you know you're a Mountaineer. Once you've put your feet on that hill, on the grass, not the steps.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
the grass. That's
On
how
the
that's how
grass.
you know.
Oh,
That's
it was
how you
much
know.
longer when we were there, though. I mean,
Yeah, that hill doesn't look as big, does it?
Not
It
at
shrunk,
all.
right,
Well,
Bees?
Yeah.
Well, it did. It did because they built a couple of parking lots and all that. that hill went all the way into the hospital parking lot. All right. So like B said, it got shortened by about 150 yards from what I remember.
Oh man.
Right.
Because it was
Oh, my
down,
God.
where the varsity club is. We would have to start below there, almost to the parking lot.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. It went down toward the hospital more.
Towards the McDonald's parking lot. The McDonald's.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't want to talk about that. That brings
Everything's
back-
so much easier, man. Everything's so much easier.
Joe's is starting to twitch.
Yeah, I'm starting to twitch.
I don't know how a kid can't be successful with the way everything is built around these kids nowadays, though. Like anybody that goes to any program has a chance if you put the work in.
Yeah. Right.
And that's like what you said earlier, Joe. That competition brings in. You got to come every day like it's game day.
That's right.
So if you
That's how
gotta,
you get better.
that's the only way.
You don't improve if you just stay right here. If I'm not being pushed, it's just like the varsity club. If we're not trying to build it by reaching out to guys that aren't part of it, or saying, hey, I know you got a sour taste in my mouth. I did for a long time. I had a sour taste in my mouth. It wasn't until I realized, ooh, man, this is bigger than me, and I gotta put those feelings behind me, because guess what? It's about hope, and it's about from now forward. I don't care what happened yesterday. I can't do a damn thing about what happened yesterday. The only thing we can control is the now and the future. What happens next? The yet. It hasn't happened yet. But guess what? If you work and you do what you're supposed to do, you'll get there. That's that creation of hope. If you use that word yet, hadn't happened yet, but I trust and I know in my heart, I have the faith. That's where hope comes from. That if I work hard and I do what I'm supposed to do, and I can get to where I'm supposed to get. And again, we're back to, can you actually fulfill that in that place? And if you can't, you got to go. But if you can, if that can get you to where you want to go, that's program. That's program. That's where you got something special. Because a guy, like you said earlier, Bees, that guy that comes in for a year and leaves, he'll never be part of our varsity club because he was only here a lousy season. So he'll never identify as a Mountaineer. Once a Mountaineer, always a Mountaineer. That's a bold statement. Yeah, if you wore it for a minute, okay. But you don't really understand that until you've been around it for a while. And that's where we gotta, as a program, that guy comes in, I don't want to leave. and we've got the resources and the capability of keeping you here. And of course, we can get all into that. I mean, we got to be able to, this NIL stuff and the portal and all that, we got to be able to start building long-term contracts with these guys, to be able to lock them down for more than 1 year where they can't just run and go. We got to be able to lock them up a little bit. That's a whole different avenue. But with you here, KJ, just sum it up. I know you're working and you're busy. I appreciate you, man. I love you. I enjoyed spending time with you down there in St. Albans, driving me around in that little Bronco of yours. That's cute.
Hey,
you ought to see me in that car. I'm like this.
You fit just fine in that Bronco, man. You fit just fine.
It's luxury. Hey, man. Hey,
KJ, I got one request. KJ, I got one request.
Yeah.
How can I get Umi Salim into the West Virginia Hall of Fame? She belongs in the West Virginia Hall of Fame.
Let me tell you one thing. I am thankful I am not on the Hall of Fame committee.
Yeah.
Because that is not an easy position to be put in.
She's got 10s and All-American. I mean, she's up there with Quackenbush.
She was incredible. I was in school the same time you all were in school, so I know how great she was. Like I said, I know there's criteria. I don't know what it is, but I'm glad because I want to have this close relationship with all the alums. I'm glad I'm not in a position where I have to say this one deserves to be in, this one doesn't deserve to be in, because there's so many that could be that. I mean, it's just it's so difficult. I'm not envious of that.
It's a fine line. It's a fine line.
I'm not envious of that position at all. And then, but to your point, Bees, we've had.
I always feel like I got in because I made it to NFL.
Doesn't hurt. I mean, it doesn't hurt. I mean,
I made a couple of interceptions.
But let's think about. Yeah, I mean, you only led the country in interceptions one year, right?
That's kind of unfair. No, I was just joking on that.
No, but you did. I mean, facts are facts. So, but I mean, for those like you, and I know, Umi's
because of our sport. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Umi's sport doesn't necessarily have a next level.
Exactly.
You guys, the three guys that are on this, reached the pinnacle of your sport. Mm-hmm. Only the elite make it to where you did. So it's easy to identify you all. It's those other sports that don't have that opportunity, maybe, that's hard to identify, even though they had great careers here. It's hard to measure it. And to your point, in the sports where you can have multiple All-Americans, you can be an All-American on the vault, the beam, the floor, or whatever.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, so like I said, I'm just glad I'm not in that position. Umi was an incredible athlete while she was here, and your children are incredible athletes, so that's pretty awesome too. But yeah, I'm glad I'm not on that committee. I'm glad I'm not. But I do appreciate you advocating for me. I do appreciate that.
Hey, she's a Mountaineer,
She is. She's a member of the varsity club. I look forward to seeing them when they come in. But thank you guys for all your kind words about it. We have a $50 annual membership, $50. And what you get for that $50 or that $1,000 lifetime is, if you come to one football game and get one ticket, you made money on the deal. And it's not about the money. That $50 is kind of helps us with a little bit of our admin costs. And we host reunions and things like that. And it helps us offset a little bit of the cost. We're not doing it for that. It's not about the money. It's about you guys signing up for the varsity club and me having your contact information. Because when you sign up, that means I've got your newest email address. That means I've got your newest phone number. And when we have events.
Damn, I can't believe we did that to ourselves.
Yeah, right. But you get invited. You get invited, and because we have your information.
That's right.
So when we have reunions for, we're celebrating 3 teams this year. We got to be able to find the people that were on these teams. Now, if we don't have good contact information on them, we can't find guys that played on the 75 Peach Bowl team or played for Coach Bowden and celebrate them, or were on the Music City Bowl team in 2000. Mm-hmm. If we can't contact you, we can't invite you. That's why I put out everything that I put out on social media, through emails. If any of your teammates did not receive this, please have them contact me. And I always put my contact information on there.
Yep.
You can ask Joe's. Everybody on this call has been on the phone with me before. So I am not a hard person to reach. All you have to do is call, and I will answer the phone or call you right back or email me. I will not put anyone off.
That's
but
right.
we want to recreate these great relationships with you all because you're an incredible part of our history. So
did you get a hold of Brad Lewis? You had mentioned the Motor City.
yeah, well, working on it. Yeah, working on it. So
Yeah.
I know this Wes Hours is coming. So hit him on that wheel route, and he just trucked a dude near the goal line. So
so Andy Kettler was roommates with Brad Lewis back in college whenever we won the game. So Ryan Kegler, the former number one wrestler for WVU.
Yeah.
He's still here in Morgantown.
Ryan Kaler,
Yeah.
his son's a freshman on the wrestling team here, and he's a beast.
He is awesome.
Yeah, he's a beast. Yeah, and he's got a younger brother. Yeah. So, but yeah, absolutely.
Keep it tight. Family.
Yeah.
You got that shirt? You got that shirt right there?
Oh, I've got one. I can show you. You
got to see this. This is really cool. This is part of the new merch that's coming out for the varsity club. But this is KJ's design. Look right at this shirt. Explain it to what we're going to look at. Watch this.
So it says
family.
Yeah.
The FAM stands for Forever a Mountaineer.
Oh, I see that. That's
right there in the middle of
That's fire.
That's sweet.
That's
sweet.
So
do you get what? Do you got to buy one of them or?
I just want WV fam. And then I'll yeah, just the
but
WV.
Then so I showed someone that and they said, "Oh, the ILYs, I love you." I'm like, "Hey."
Oh, damn.
That is bravo. That's nice, man.
Yeah,
that's
so
what
I wanted something. We've always heard that once a Mountaineer, always.
I said that's fire. That's fire. That's fire.
What does that mean?
That means it's good, Joe.
It's hot. It's hot.
Thank you.
You got to remember, man. I'm down here in Florida. I live in a cave.
Everything's good when it's hot.
Wait a minute.
Good. When it's cold,
Joe. Bees is in Florida too.
Oh yeah, yeah, but he's in northern Florida.
Yeah.
Man, it is not much colder up here. It is 95 degrees at 10 o'clock.
Bees, if I knew what you meant living in Morgantown, West Virginia, Joe should have known what fire meant.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Maybe we should have said it's dynamite.
Yeah, we need some 70s.
Maybe we got to send Joe to know that.
It's 70s, man.
We got to send Joe's like a translator or something like that, so that
they got
the ear sets now. They translate instantly.
Yeah.
I don't need that. I don't need that. All right, listen. We're gonna finish this up, and we're gonna talk a little bit about this upcoming game and its importance. And hey, KJ, man, if you want to hang, you're welcome. Love you too. Thank you so much.
See y'all soon.
See you, bro.
See you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's wonderful that KJ joined us, man. This thing's it's gonna help. It's gonna, again, we gotta heal a little bit some of the things that have transpired. But there's a lot of good things, a lot of excitement, a lot of anticipation. But let's just kind of finish this up real quick with just a quick talk about
thanks, KJ.
This Saturday right here. All right. The Robert Morris Colonials. I don't even know what conference. What are they in? The Northern. I think it's called the Northern Conference or something like that. All right. The head coach has been there 8 years. They got 3 new coordinators. They got a bunch of new players. Again, just like the portal has for us. So we don't really know a whole lot of those players on their team. We don't know a whole lot about them yet. Does that really matter? Does that really matter? I heard Rich say in his press conference, no, it really doesn't matter. We're not worrying about them. We're worrying about us. We're going to take care of our business. We're going to do what we're supposed to do, and we'll manage our sideline within the game itself. Bees, Mike, defensively, all right? Defensively. We got a brand new defensive coordinator, that guy that came from Oklahoma, okay? Mm-hmm. They are all over the place. Multiple blitz packages, very exotic stuff, a lot of coverage hides. But what do we really need to see? Bees, let's start with the DBs, man. We've been talking about this for years now about and now from what I saw, they got like 2 or 3 guys now that are coaching in the DBs. It's not one guy no more trying to coach safeties and trying to coach, corners and trying to, there's a bandit backer that's got to form into that coverage stuff and all that. What's your feelings about this thing going in?
Like especially a new regime, you just want everybody to execute. Everybody to be on the same page. Communication is big, and just like we always talk about it. When you get out there, the first thing you think about it during the play: alignment, assignment, technique. You know what I mean? So, get aligned.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
We
lost the bees. All right. Well, bees will come back. He'll dial right back in.
He'll be back. Yeah.
All right. But we know what he was getting ready to go to. All right. We're going to shift the gear and drop back real quick, Mike, the box. All right. The box. Bees is going to talk about what has to happen out here. Go.
Yeah. I think this year we got a very depth. We got a lot of depth at the defensive line. And can you hear me? Oh,
yeah, we got you.
Okay. Anyways, we got a lot of depth. I think they got a good 3. They got about 7 to 9 guys that they can utilize this year. Some may play, some may not play. I think that they'll probably do well as far as I can see this far. But it all starts with up front, not just on our side of the ball. The defense has got to make their plays and get penetration and just the basics of basic defense is, win the first punch. You win the first punch, you can own them. And can't do that, then it's going to be a long day. But it's a 3-man front with the outside linebacker or bandit. So these guys got to know how to control the blocker, hit them, strike them, knock them back, and then make their move to the ball. So, like I said earlier, it's either going to be 1st and 13 for the defense or it's going to be 1st and 7. So let's just take the game to them. And I think they can. We don't know much about Robert Morris, but I do know one thing about them is they got a lot of Western PA boys. They got some Ohio people. They got some Florida people, Californians. So they got a diverse set of football people on their team. So, and, I think it's going to be a money game for them too. So we don't want to, they're going to make a little money on that game, but as far as, what they get, but let's take the game to them and let's have a good tune up for the next couple weeks. That's how I see it. So it's going to start up front.
It always starts up front. Well, Bees hit it. Bees hit it. It's all about alignment. It's all about assignment and technique. Those 3 pieces, that's every single position. It doesn't matter. We got to make sure we're lined up right. If we're not lined up right, we got a problem because we're not focused, laser focused in there. We're not listening to the call and knowing the assignment. So the alignment where I need to be to start where I'm going, and then knowing where I'm supposed to be, and then the technique to allow me to do the job that particular play is calling me to do. If I'm out of position or if I'm using poor technique, I'm probably going to get beat. And if I get beat, then that becomes the weakness in that particular play. And, early in the year, I think sometimes defensively it's a little easier to install more stuff than it is, for the offense. The offense, it might take a little bit longer. You got 5 new starters. WVU's got 5 new starters really on the offensive line. So you're rebuilding the whole offensive line. How well can those guys gel and communicate within that team within a team? Because, let's face it, O-line's a different cat because we're working a lot in tandem with each other. We're working blocks where we've got to be able to communicate and be on the same page so that we can execute what's required of us based on that alignment of the defense. Mike lines up here in this 3 technique, and that changes it as opposed to if he lined up in a 2-eye. So I've got to know my job based on their alignment as well. And then we got to execute. Now, how? That's the key. How do you execute? How do you use your technique and execute that job? First of all, and that's what this group I saw brings back to it is the energy, the enthusiasm, the intensity, the fire, the whatever you want to call it. For me to execute that job at a high level, I gotta have it in here and in here in the soul, man. And that's where I think we're going to see a big difference. I think we're going to see, no matter what the score, start to finish, Mountaineer football is back, like we said earlier. In other words, from the opening kickoff to the final gun, you're going to have your hands full because we're playing our style, and you got to adjust and you got to make changes to take care of what we're doing to you. All right. That's a good place to be. I think we're going to be there. I think that's the kind of team that these guys are working to build. Obviously, we don't even know what we've got. Should be a heck of a crowd. Should be a lot of anticipation. But, defensively, Mike, I mean, this guy's, again, I hear a lot about him and blitz packages and exotics and stuff like that. How important is that as opposed to, what you just said about controlling the line of scrimmage? I mean, what's more important?
Well, blitz packages are nice when they're when you need them, but I don't want to live off of blitz packages because when you blitz, you're going to be exposed someplace. I think you need to be able to do a lot of things in your base defense, and then when you have to bring the heat. I wouldn't give them any more than you need to give them as far as defensively. I think they have the skill set up front to not have to do all that extra blitzing, but it's always nice to have that card in your pocket when you need to bring the heat. So I don't, I understand they want to blitz. It all depends on who you're playing. I mean, if they're going to throw the rock all day and all night, well, then you're going to really want to come bring some smoke on that quarterback. And even on some of the runs, you can bring some different type of blitz packages too. But, I would see what my base defense does and see how my guys can play their base techniques. And then if I had to sprinkle in some blitzes, I would. But I definitely, I think they got a pretty good skill set on their front 3, and then their linebacker and bandit. I think that they got some good depth and they got some good skills, and I think that they can probably do a whole lot with what they got, at least to start with. So they got some big guys on their side. They got some big boys on the other team, so they gotta, we gotta see who's who.
We lost Beasley. His computer died. That's okay. I know what he would say. How much we're able to do with blitzes and things like that's going to be determined by how well our secondary can operate. And I know for a fact we haven't been able to tackle for a long time. We've allowed plays to get behind us. We've given up big plays behind us. And more importantly is, and I remember Darryl Talley and Beasley talking about it a lot last year. We let wide receivers free release up the field. We got to get up in their eye a little bit and jack them a little bit and keep them on line of scrimmage, disrupt that a little bit to allow that box to do what they're supposed to do. And if we can cover guys and do what we're supposed to do out here, we don't have to bring as much heat. We can let the box do what it's supposed to do. And I think that's where we need to be offensively. Real quick, hey, score points. Score points. Execute. Get the guys in there that you need to get as many guys as you have to into the rotation. But most importantly, whatever package you got going, whatever game plan you have, execute the plan. Don't be worrying about all the other stuff. Take care of what you're doing. Take care of your house. Let's get a big win, man. It's an opener. It's the home opener. I can't wait. It's going to be an exciting season. Mountaineer Legends pregame show. We're going to be coming to you every week, right? We're going to be a couple locations along the way, especially Tropics for the pit game. But Randy, Mike, B's being on there, KJ, Big Joe's here. I appreciate you guys, man. Let's make sure we have some fun with this thing. And with that, real quick, just thank Little General. Little General helps us out. We're going to run some spots that they gave to us. Little General, Greg Darby and his team, they're all over the state. You guys know they are. Find them, support them, because they turn around and support your communities, and they support our kids. And, of course, Randy Cottle, my co-host here, brother. I love you, man. Trilogy Innovations. Appreciate you. All right. Hey. Absolutely. Let's go Mountaineers.
Let's go Mountaineers.
Yeah, let's go Mountaineers.
Let's go Mountaineers. Let's go.
Yeah, let's bring it on.
All right. Hey, thanks, fellas.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Have a good day, guys.
Peace.